We live in a world of extremes and polarization. From politics to social issues, it seems like there's just no middle ground anywhere. And even in the world of EUCs, the electric wheels that get all the love and attention these days are either the biggest and the fastest or the smallest and the cutest. Social media would have you believe that EUC riders need to be one of the following: adrenaline junkies trying to break speed records, high-flying jumpers who live life as if they have a cheat code for unlimited lives, or marathon cross-country riders dressed as if an extra in a Mad Max movie. But I would argue that most EUC riders are like me, an average guy with responsibilities to my family and to my job who rides EUC for fun and to get around town. Is there a perfect EUC for a rider like me? In this video, I'm representing the casual rider who feels most comfortable riding around 30 miles an hour and uses their EUC for commutes and leisurely cruises. For this ride, I'm on the King Song S19, which checks off a lot of boxes for a great casual commuter EUC. With a top speed of 37 miles an hour and a range of 60 miles, this wheel is not for racing or long distance riding. I see a lot of people who spend a lot of money on the fastest, most powerful EUCs on the market who never even come close to using all of that power. Why pay for all the unnecessary weight and power if you're never going to use it? The weight on this particular EUC is 70 pounds, which is on the lighter side when compared to most comparable EUCs in the market. Overall, the price to power to weight ratio makes this wheel a good value buy for casual cruisers. Alright, I just had to stop here because this year we've had all these beautiful flowers, these yellow flowers. I know they're probably weeds, so every now and then, don't worry about getting to your destination as fast as possible. Take your time, ride your ride, pull over every now and then and smell the flowers. It's a beautiful world out there, and that's why we ride these PEVs, so we can feel more connected to that world. If you want a quick way to compare a bunch of the EUCs on the market, check out freshlycharged.com, where we have a chart of all the EUCs available. The suspension is great for making rides much more enjoyable. I remember the days when suspension on EUCs seemed like a gimmick, but now I consider it a necessity if ride comfort is a priority for you. King Song's iconic suspension design not only looks great, but is very capable for handling stairs and light off-road trails. This EUC comes ready to roll right out of the box. With the included pads and seat that are actually pretty good, you won't have to spend any more time researching or any more money buying third-party pads. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that, but I have zero issues with the speaker rubbing up against the back of my foot or ankle. Zero issues. It's a zero factor for me. It probably is very stance dependent. The back of the speaker here could potentially hit kind of where your Achilles is. I have high tops on, so maybe that's why I'm not feeling it rub. Before we continue, let me share with you the sponsor of this video and something that I've been bringing with me on all my rides recently. It's here in my backpack. I've had 5 flat tires this summer, so now the SYNCWIRE portable pump is always with me on long rides. The SYNCWIRE is a relatively small, lightweight, battery-powered pump that's pretty darn powerful. It's much smaller and lighter than the Ryobi pump we use in the garage, which makes it a perfect companion for rides just like this. Just press and hold this for about 5 seconds. And it turns on. Looks like it's 35 PSI. So this is a PSA about your PSI. Make sure your PSI is accurate. Let's stop that right here, and let me tell you, you can't really feel it just by pushing on it. Doing the feel test, not good enough. So with this, you could tell we are significantly lower than what was recommended. Let's get this thing pumped up. Big reasons to bring the SYNCWIRE when you ride. Besides the obvious, for when your tire pressure is low, the pump can also help in a pinch. Because if your luck is like mine, when I get a flat tire, it's bound to happen in the middle of nowhere as far as possible from my home or my car. And depending on the ride, sometimes I like to air down for off-road terrain for better comfort and traction, but then air back up again when I hit the road for better range efficiency. And that is it. Take that off really quick. A little lost air as expected. And just screw that back here. Now that becomes a nice little carrying handle. This light is a cool feature. So you hit that light button for a little bit. And now we have a light. Hit it again for a red light. And you can have a blinking light. You also have USB ports, so it acts as a portable battery. 2,600 milliamps. The display is nice, very lightweight, so it's not going to weigh you down. Just gonna turn that off.
So I just dropped it. It slipped out of my hands as I was getting off. Actually, no scuff. That's just dust from riding. So the speaker looks okay. I didn't hear any hard clank. It sounded like it mainly took most of the impact on the pad here. A little crack right there from when I dropped it, and it's actually from the pedal coming up and the impact of the pedal hitting the plastic there. I was just sitting on it. There's nothing to catch onto, and it just slipped out from behind me and then fell over. If you ever find yourself by an RV campout that has full hookups, you can charge here. And the cool thing is, a lot of times these RV parks, these campsites, you've got a ton of amenities. There are bathrooms back there and showers, volleyball here, horseshoe right there. All right, so here's another nice campground. You've got a nice table, fire pit, and then here's your hookups. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. This is pretty cool. We're gonna have to plan a trip like this. Tell me what you guys think. Is this something you'd want to see us try, kind of an all-electric camp out? I think that'd be fun.
A good commuting EUC should have a high water resistance rating, and I would love to see that EUC and its battery come with UL certification, so I know that the device has been built and tested against battery fires.
I'm having a lot of fun. I've come to a realization. I'm not a young spring chicken. What I've learned in my old age and all the years of riding is you don't have to get the fastest wheel to enjoy it. This is an enjoyable wheel. It's not the fastest. I mean, if everyone had to have the fastest car, then we'd all be driving race cars. But you see a lot of different varieties of types of vehicles on the road, and that's because there's something for everyone. You don't need the fastest car to be able to enjoy the drive, and similarly, you don't need the fastest electric unicycle to be able to enjoy it. This is by no means the fastest electric unicycle, topping out at just over 35 miles an hour, but it's very enjoyable. It comes with just about everything you need, all the amenities. It's kind of like an Audi, right? An Audi, it's a nice vehicle, not super fast, it's nothing you're gonna race, but it's super enjoyable. So that's my deep thought. You don't need the fastest thing on the road to enjoy it. At least I don't. You may. Okay, the other cool thing about this wheel that I wouldn't have been able to do with most of my other wheels is I rode over to join my sister and her family. They're having a party with some of their friends, so I met them at the lake. So the one thing that was missing was they didn't have any music, they didn't have any speakers. That was where this EUC came to the rescue. I busted it out, hooked up my phone, and we were able to have some tunes and rock out to it. Totally changed the atmosphere of the get-together and the party. So another cool advantage to the S19.
To make casual cruising and commuting on EUCs the norm out on the roads and not the exception, we need to make people realize that the mid-range wheel is a great choice for budget-minded riders to commute or just to enjoy the ride. What's your favorite mid-range EUC? For me, the InMotion V14 is actually my go-to EUC right now, and if you want to learn more about this great wheel, click on this video right here.